Hello everybody, I'm back again bringing you yet another Jurassic Park toy related video, and today I wanted to continue from my previous video that I made several months ago about the Jurassic Park prototype figures that were never released. I found a lot of new exciting figures online that I wanted to share with you guys, and so yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and start the video. So the first figure I have on my list is actually the thumbnail from my last prototype video, and that is the Gulper TRex. This was the original bull T-Rex before it was later repainted and included as part of the Lost World line in 1997. But before we got the bull T-Rex, we were supposed to get this figure called the Gulper TRex, which is basically the same thing. It had a different paint job. It was green and orangish instead of, you know, the sort of all green, black striped bull T-Rex that we got later on. This thing was supposed to be released back in 1994, and it was only going to retail for around $27. But according to JP Toys, it seems that this figure was never released because retailers thought it was going to take up too much shelf space, which is strange because there's been plenty of large Jurassic Park toys released over the years. Now, it's unsure if this figure actually included any electronics like the bull T-Rex does, but it does state that when it was later released, it was retooled not only to have the new paint job, like I said, but also new eyes. If you guys have the bull T-Rex, you know it has those sort of like glossy eyes. They're not just painted on like a lot of the figures. And I think this original one did just have the painted on eyes. So I think what they did with the bull T-Rex is definitely a plus. And it was also stated that a prototype, an unpainted one that is, appeared on eBay quite a while ago, and it sold for $500. So up next is really a interesting figure. This was Scrap Davis. This was going to be a human figure that was supposed to be part of the Evil Raiders line, along with, you know, the other ones that we got, like Dr. Snare and Skinner. And this was going to be like a human slash Hyborg figure. It was going to include a hatchling Dimetrodon, which we've never had before or never gotten in another line, you know, later on. And it was supposed to have replaceable limbs. You see he has this like normal cybernetic arm, and then he also has this sort of rocket launcher arm that you could swap out. This is kind of an interesting idea, and one interesting thing to note about this is that Kenner also created the Terminator 2 line, and in that line they also included a lot of interchangeable limbs. So this might have been like the original inspiration for what they did later on with the Terminator 2 toys. Next up is actually a Chaos Effect hybrid dinosaur, and this one was apparently supposed to be called the Stegospinus, although that name is sort of just a guess because of the similarities that it has between a Stegosaurus and a Spinosaurus. But this one was a rather small figure, and there are speculations that it was going to be like a 2-pack along with another smaller hybrid dinosaur. And this thing is quite interesting. The design is definitely, you know, fitting for the Chaos Effect line. It looked like it was going to be a pretty cool dinosaur, and the only proof of its existence was found in a Toy Fair Hasbro catalog back in 1998. There really is no information as to what happened to this figure, why it was canceled, why it was never produced, things like that. This is one of those really mysterious figures that just sort of appeared once and then disappeared from the face of the earth, and there's really no explanation as to why. At least none that are known to the public. But I think this thing would have been actually a pretty cool addition to the Chaos Effect line. It's a shame that it was canceled, you know, as is the case with all the canceled figures, but I'm sure there was ultimately a reason for it. You know, maybe the Chaos Effect line didn't sell as well as they expected it to and things like that. But yeah, this is definitely a interesting one. This next figure is also supposed to be part of the Chaos Effect line, and it was going to be similar to the Paradeinonychus as far as like its size and scaling and stuff like that. And this is going to be the Ceratosaurus. Now, unlike most of the Chaos Effect figures, this one wasn't going to be a hybrid. It still had this sort of same aesthetics as the other Chaos Effect figures. They were sort of like cartoonish in a sense. But this one was actually going to be, you know, just a straight pure Ceratosaurus. And what's quite interesting about this figure is that it was supposed to have a removable tail, and that was supposed to be like a battle damage feature, and also its body is covered in all sorts of like scratch marks and bites and like it's been, you know, had a rough time in its life. And apparently the rumor for that is that, like, the backstory on it was that it was so scarred up because it spent its life inside a raptor pen. So maybe they like mixed the dinosaurs together or something. I'm not sure if that's true exactly. That's just one of the little facts that it has on jptoys.com. But regardless of whether or not it's true, it's still really an interesting thing to consider, you know, that they actually like added a little story alongside this figure. And there's only one of them that are known to exist residing in, you know, someone's collection. Apart from that, we don't really know if any more of these were ever made. And yeah, this one's another one of those really mysterious figures. There's so little that was actually known about it, you know, why it was canceled, what the end product was actually supposed to look like and be like. But I think the design is really cool and interesting, and I would have liked to have this one. So this last figure is perhaps the most mysterious of any of the ones I ever talked about, and this is supposedly an early concept design for the Indominus Rex. Now, if you go on YouTube, you can actually find a video of this figure in action, and whoever owns it, you know, was showing all the different action features that it has and all the different things that it can do. And what's funny is that a lot of the people in the comments seem to agree that this figure was, even though it's just a prototype, it was better than the actual Indominus Rex figure that we got. And they're really disappointed that something more along the lines of this prototype figure wasn't released, you know, in place of the one that Hasbro ultimately gave us. Now, for all we know, this could just be some like cheap Chinese knockoff that, you know, someone found that resembles the Indominus Rex, and they, you know, thought that it was a prototype figure or something like that. We really don't know. There's no like official documentation or concept art or anything pointing back to this early prototype design, but it does certainly strike a resemblance to the Indominus Rex figure. So I don't have any doubt that, you know, it probably was a prototype figure, an early concept, you know, maybe when they were still designing the Indominus Rex for the film. But regardless of whatever this figure was, it certainly provides an interesting insight into some other possibilities for Indominus Rex figures that we could have had. I'm not sure why they would have scrapped this idea, because I feel like had they focused on this one, it could have been certainly an improvement over the one that was released in the Jurassic World line. But anyways, as always, we'll probably never know what happened to it or why it was changed, but we can only speculate. But anyways, guys, that's all I have to show you for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and watching my recent videos and everything. It means a lot to me. I'm glad that it seems like everyone is enjoying the recent episode to Jurassic Frontier. I want to start working on the next episode soon. It might just be the last episode of that series, but don't worry, I have another one planned. I'm just waiting for these certain figures to be released so I can actually focus on the new series. But until then, I'm still going to continue to be making videos, you know, whether it's toy videos like this or other short action figure films. I'm always going to continue to keep making videos, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks again for watching and liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.